Good evening. I'd like to call to order the July 8th, 2009 Planning Commission meeting. Let the record show that all members are present. And we'll have a motion for acceptance of the minutes from the June 10th meeting.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Page Becknell, second by Luther. Any objection? Motion carries. This time I'd like to open up the floor for public comment. Anyone wishing to present any item not on the agenda, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Also, by just way of information, make sure your cell phones are off, and also we will have a joint Planning and Zoning Commission meeting following this one, and then a Zoning Commission meeting. So at this time we're just doing the planning meeting. No one wishing to come forward. Public comment period is closed. Item number 5, public hearing for granting final approval for the West Ridge subdivision. Anyone here representing the West Ridge subdivision?
Yes, sir. Larry Pisciola with Angela Pisciola Engineers.
All right. Thank you. You got an opening statement other than everything's been done in accordance?
No, I think we've completed everything on the subdivision, all the punch list. I don't know any other things we have left to do. We did not address the right-of-ways. We're waiting on utilities to come in. When the last utility comes in, we're going to finish addressing the right-of-ways and hydromotion. We have discussed this with DPW, and all in agreement with that.
All right. Thank you. Commissioners have any questions, comments? No questions, comments at this time. I'll open up the floor for public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward and comment? No one wishing to comment? Public hearing is closed.
Staff,
Question?
everything's done? Everything's done? That staff's motions its head up and down and says,
Everything's done.
thank you very much. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Julio Dumas for approval, seconded by Bob Nance. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item number 6, committee reports. Subdivision Ordinance Committee.
Okay, we did not meet in June. Our next meeting will be July 27th at 6 p.m. at DPW. We're going to continue to work on simple divisions, and we have another item that we're going to add to our agenda, but you'll hear more about that later.
Okay. Thank you. And strategic planning, anything to report on strategic planning? No report. Item number 7, old business. Lake Somerset, first filing. I don't know, Ben, if you want to address this, or I know you have a letter in here. Want to discuss it a little bit, please?
Item that I'm not sure what happened, but it was finished 2 years ago, and should have had a maintenance bond posted at that time. It wasn't, and I'm not sure what the history was involved in all that. At this point, I don't see any benefit to having the maintenance bond posted, because if it had been posted, we would have released that bond at this point. And the inspectors went out and checked the site. There weren't any failings or anything of concern. That's all I got.
All right. Commissioners have any comments, questions? I will say something on your letter, Ben. You want to put a date on it. That's the first thing. I'm trying to make sure we're in the...
Staff, do we have a procedure in place now so that this won't happen in the future?
Yeah, we've been working on a project tracking system to help keep track of everything that's coming through, and we've got all the dates and everything, and there's functions in there to let us know whenever we're getting close to deadlines or expiration points for any milestones in the project.
Ben, I have a question. During the one-year bond, it's during that time that houses are normally being built, right?
Correct.
So during,
Well-
because of our, go ahead.
I mean, they can be. I mean, some neighborhoods, I understand, sit around for a couple of years before anything gets going, depending on the economy, but.
Right. Because of the economy right now, no houses have been built.
Correct.
Okay. So if we waive the one-year bond, which I understand about the time frame, but my thoughts are, there hasn't been any house built, so there's not been any traffic on the road. You know, there's not been any big trucks, nothing, you know, concrete trucks, nothing that's going to really test the roads.
Correct, and that's something that we might need to address. The way the ordinance is written now, though, it's a one-year maintenance bond. With, you know, it doesn't factor in that possibility. I think that would be something that would have to be revised in the ordinance to address that
But
scenario.
didn't I understand your letter, though, is requesting a waiver or is advising a waiver? So that's optional, isn't it?
Yes, I assume so. I just, my stance is that I don't see the advantage to it now. If it had followed the rules, it would have been released at this point, so we can make them go back and do it. I don't know what the history was involved with it, why it wasn't posted, and so I know there was a lot of turnover going on at that time with the CSRS to Fort and Deblada, and then we had the in-house engineer for a while. So I guess the issue might not have been the developer's fault. There's a responsibility on the parish.
Right, and I'm not trying to, excuse me, I'm not trying to assign any blame. That's not my point. My point is the roads, they haven't had the usage that they normally would have had by this point. And personally, I'm not really in favor of waiving this. I would assume in the next year, houses are going to be built. And at that time, they will receive the use that they would have normally, you know, without this economy, the depressed economy. My thoughts.
Let me ask you a question. Are you requesting action from the planning commission?
It's my understanding that if they're not going to post a maintenance bond, it would require a variance.
Well, let's go through the steps, okay? So plat gets approved, right? Contractor comes in, gets a permit, builds a subdivision. Upon final inspection, final plat, you post a bond for 1 year. Staff failed to do that. For
Correct.
whatever reason, doesn't matter, okay? The developer failed to do it as well. 2 years have now elapsed. So, is the plat recorded?
Yes.
So the plat's recorded. So, you know, so they didn't do it, but the plat's recorded. I mean, obviously, the plat came back, it got recorded, they went out there, they built it, it's been 2 years. You know, what are we gonna do? You know, are you suggesting that we grant a waiver for, oops, a mistake?
Actually, I'm wondering if we have to take action at all.
My point
And the
exactly,
reason
right?
being is the bond was submitted to the parish. Here's a copy of it. I talked with the engineer on this project, and I got this today.
So where's the bond?
So we just
What but the procedure is, the bond is received in the planning department, and it goes to legal counsel, but there's an agreement attached to it that has to be signed by the parish president.
And
So
was-
it leaves, and I believe Charles is the one that receives this stuff. And I believe that he sent that out as he would do with any other bond, but it never came back. Once the bond is signed by the parish president, then it's recorded. And if I'm not mistaken, that's when the posting takes place. So that's all on the parish. It has nothing to do with the developer. So this has been brought before us when the developer submitted this in good faith. Now, yes, and it's dated November 5th, 2007. There was a lot of stuff happening at that time.
Sure.
To add to it, we had one administration going out and a new one going to come in. And we had gone through, the planning department was still understaffed. And we had gone through some other problems at that time as well. So, okay, something got lost.
Misplaced.
I'm amazed that it was just one document with the number of papers that crossed Charles Becknell's desk. So, but the ball was dropped with the parish, not the developer, because the developer did act in good faith. So the developer submitting this to the parish, I'm led to believe that the developer has been in compliance with our ordinances the whole time. There is no action for us to take. What's done is done.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Because had the bond been signed in November of 2007, it would have expired November 2008, and we wouldn't.
We wouldn't be here.
Yeah, this wouldn't even be showing up. So I don't see where the commission is required to take any action on this, because the developer has always been in compliance with the ordinances, or at least with this, the ordinance pertaining to the maintenance bond.
All right, I'm not arguing with you. It came onto my desk, and it was a loose end. I didn't know if this was the way we needed to take care of it, or if it's something that can, just fade into the past.
I
Well,
see.
it appears with Commissioner Marchand's information that he got, it's, that at least it was delivered to the parish, so, there is no waiver that we need to grant. Since it wasn't signed, it probably ought to, at least some formal letter to the developer ought to be provided saying, you did it. We're sorry, we don't know where the original is, but God bless you. Best of luck.
Tony, any comment?
Without knowing all of the exact details, because I just heard from Mr. Marshall all of the information tonight. None of us knew this before we got here, so I obviously didn't look at it. But just from hearing everything tonight, I don't think it's your place to make a decision tonight on this until we know exactly what happened. And if everything he says is correct, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think it's your decision. I think it's the parish's job to clean up what happened.
Yeah, I would agree. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
So, that being said,
Move.
we just move to item.
Well, if action needs to be taken as far as what we're going to do, then I'm going to offer a motion that this be sent back to the planning department to work in coordination with DPW or whoever they have to get the issue resolved. If there's something and get with legal counsel. If it does have to come back with us, then bring it back next month. But if it's something that we don't need to take any action on, then handle it as appropriate.
I second that.
All right, we just have a motion by Michael just to return the bond back to the parish staff for more research, and if it needs to come back to us, then we'll act on it next month. Seconded by Bob Nance. Any opposition? Motion carried. All right. And
Move to adjourn?
move to adjourn. We are adjourned. We'll take just a short 5-minute recess to get Lester a chance to change the graphics, and then we'll reconvene as the combination planning and zoning.